The May 2016 national and local elections has been declared as a referendum by President Aquino to validate the performance of his administration for the past 5 years. Daang Matuwid has provided key reforms and good governance, which restored our people's faith in government. It has provided sustained economic growth, reduced poverty incidents, and more. Will Daang Matuwid guarantee victory for the entire ticket of the Daang Matuwid coalition led by former local government secretary Mar Rojas and Congresswoman Leni Robredo? Will the Senate slate garner more seats? Joining us tonight here on NewsLife is Congressman Ibarra Guitierrez of AKBAYAN Partylist and spokesman of the coalition ng Daang Matuwid. Good evening, sir, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening, Cathy. Thank you.
Sir, a few Mayor Duterte is no longer running, and Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago might join the presidential race. How do you think will this affect the presidential competition?
At this point, we're not really too concerned with what the opposition does at this point. We're mainly focused on concentrating on our own message, bringing the idea of Daang Matuwid to the grassroots, and ensuring that we are packaged as a team that will actually continue the gains under the current administration. That's the core message that we're banking the entire campaign on. That under the past administration, the administration of President Aquino, for the last 5.5 years, we have had outstanding gains in a lot of areas, and that if we want these gains to continue, if we want to build on these gains, then you should elect this particular team led by Secretary Mar and Kong Leni.
President Aquino himself declared that he will lead the campaign for all his candidates. What do you think is the impact of this in garnering more votes for the party? Well,
definitely when he said that, it was a boost of confidence to the entire team and to the entire slate. Obviously, he is a president that continues to enjoy unprecedented approval ratings even near the end of his term. In fact, this is the most popular administration in the last 3 decades. And so we think that if he goes out there, if he campaigns for our standard bearers, if he goes out and campaigns for the members of our Senate slate, then that's going to be a huge boost to their performance in the elections.
Sir, now that the lineup is complete, how well do you think do each candidate complement each other, from president down to the senator?
I'm very, very happy actually with the final composition. It's a very, very eclectic mix of veterans and newcomers, of people who have been in public service for a long time, like President Drilon, who has had a very, very long record serving both in the executive and the legislature, as well as people who with other backgrounds, like for example Congresswoman Risa Hontiveros, who is from civil society and who has a different set of experiences and brings a different perspective to the table. So, by and large, I think it's a team with varied strengths, with varied backgrounds, with varied experiences, and with varied origins. We have people coming from Mindanao. We have people coming from the Visayas, including, of course, our standard bearer himself, Secretary Mar, and people coming from Luzon and the National Capital Region. So, I'm very, very happy with the composition. I think it's very representative of different sectors in our society, and I think they'll mesh well.
Let's go to survey results. Secretary Rojas has been trailing behind in the past surveys, but his rankings is actually improving. What do you think is contributing to this improvement?
Well, definitely, I think that the president's endorsement was a huge factor that we cannot underestimate in terms of its contribution to the spectacular rise in his numbers, from 10% to 20% in the latest survey. But, I can also not overemphasize the point that Secretary Rojas himself has a very, very impressive track record. He has served as a cabinet secretary under 3 administrations. And more important, and I think particularly for this election, one of the most outstanding features of his record is that in all his years in government service, he has not even once been associated with even the barest hint of corruption or scandal. And, given the experience of the last 5.5 years under the Aquino presidency, where we have a president who has unquestioned integrity, our people want more of that. They want they're tired of leaders who are implicated every week in a new scandal. So I think that that particular record of Secretary Rojas also contributes mightily to his spectacular rise in the recent surveys.
Sir, before the announcement of Senator Grace Poe that she will run for president, there were speculations that this might cause a divide in the party, in Liberal Party, and as well as the votes. Do you think this happened or this will happen?
I don't think so. They announced, Senator Poe's camp announced her intention to run for the presidency, and so far, the Liberals have stayed firm. The people who are with the Liberal Party at the local level, who are in Congress, have stayed with the Liberal Party, and in fact, they are very, very excited, very, very pumped up to actually campaign for Sec Mar and Congresswoman Leni Robredo. When we were forming the slate, our main problem wasn't that we couldn't get enough people to join. Our main problem was that there were too many people who were interested in joining the slate. And I think that that's testament to the level of credibility that the Daang Matuwid brand continues to enjoy up to this time.
Speaking of the Daang Matuwid brand, sir, the party is promising to continue what the Aquino administration has begun. But will the party, or will Secretary Rojas, if he becomes president, have his own new programs to introduce to the people?
Definitely. We can't. When we talk about continuing Daang Matuwid, it's not just saying that we will do exactly what this administration has done. But we're saying that we will take the good parts of what the administration has done. Good governance, transparent governance, no corruption, social programs like CCT, the 4-piece program, and universal PhilHealth coverage, and take it to the next level. Are some aspects that can be improved, and Secretary Mar will talk about his plans on what to improve, what more to build on the Daang Matuwid in the coming weeks as the campaign progresses. But definitely, he will have his own ideas, he will have his own program, and they will build on what the current administration has managed to actually establish as a foundation.
Sir, to win all 12 seats in Senate would be the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
How challenging will this be for the Liberal Party, and how important is it for you to win the majority, if not all the seats? Well,
obviously, we acknowledge that if you base it on the most recent survey results, we're going to have an uphill battle for some of the candidates. But the objective is really to win a 12-0 victory insofar as the Senate slate is concerned. And that's important because it's very, very clear the executive can't do it on its own. It will have to have allies in the legislature. Certain policies require legislation. Certain changes that the next administration would want to implement will require institutionalization through a law. And to have that, you need allies in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. And definitely, winning 12 seats for the Daang Matuwid will definitely be a huge step towards achieving that. Because that's one of the bases for choosing these people for the slate, because we felt that they would contribute, they would be willing, and they would have the capacity to actually help our standard bearers continue the Daang Matuwid and build on it. So we would like each and every one of them to actually make it come May 2016.
And finally, sir, what can we expect from the Daang Matuwid coalition in the next coming months?
Well, as I said, we'll continue to actually bring our message to the grassroots. Focus on the issues that we want to address. As I said, the plan is in the next couple of weeks to have Secretary Mar start talking about some of the key principles in his platform of governance. So we will expect not only our standard bearers, Secretary Mar and Congresswoman Leni Robredo, but also the members of the Senate slate to start talking about it. Going around the country, bringing this particular message, talking about what new programs we want to establish, how we plan to build on the Daang Matuwid. And it's a strategy I think that will work for us, because after all, that's the edge we have, where the candidates of an administration that is very popular, has proven to be very successful, and we believe a majority of our fellow Filipinos would want to actually continue under the next term.
Very well said. And on that note, thank you very much, Congressman Ibarra Guitierrez of AKBAYAN and spokespersons of the coalition of Daang Matuwid. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cathy. Yeah.